The light is back at the end of the day, and natives, well, they should promise. But are you folks okay?
I think Duckling just made a rude gesture at me off camera.
I did this.
Not very. Oh,
Just
yeah,
like what you did.
Yeah. All right, we got little Jude Bellingham here.
Little
with
Jude
the old hand
Bellingham.
gesture and all that.
Smolder,
Hitting it after
though,
getting the
yet
correct
again.
prediction.
Yeah, League of Legends.
Smolder, yeah, we need to go back to that one. Pretty Fresh getting back his identity, and we've noticed what he's capable of doing. As soon as he lands those specific champions that are good to him, like the difference it makes in the team playing around it. Even though at the beginning it felt like Skarner were just demolishing Rumble, it was not enough.
Well, I mean, it felt like it because that is exactly what was happening. It was another strong laning phase that we saw from Theo Loris being able to get that first blood. Yes, it ends up being traded over in the 1-for-1, but I think we saw some good here from Natives in terms of his specific ability to play. But honestly, this is exactly what we want from Lightside, right? It's the comfort picks is stuff they know that they can play. Not a mage this time for Pretty Fresh. We're still waiting for him to whack out the Hwei again, but this is more of what we were hoping for. A big win for them as well, right? Now they're 5-5. They're sort of keeping themselves within touching distance of the playoffs, which is so important at this stage of the split. But for Natives, now 3-7, it's going to take a miracle for them to make it back.
This really was the game that would keep them in the race. Yes, they are not mathematically out, and I think they still need to go and believing that if they win every game, there is the chance, because otherwise then it's a bummer, right? But this was the banker. This was one that you couldn't fail at, and they did. They fell flat. They had glimmers where they looked good, but this Lightside roster looked better than we've seen it in quite a while. They managed to stop their losing streak, and now it's all about their victory here, because this can kickstart the momentum that can keep their hope of playoffs alive. So crucial win for them here. A devastating blow for them and the boys.
So if you want to talk with them, might as well jump into the interview. I mean, you flame a lot of people, so let's talk with another Danish person. So that actually... Now you're saying that. Okay, then welcome back. And we meet in an unfortunate situation yet again.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any easier way to put it than it just sucks, right? Especially after yesterday, where I felt like we showed a really good game and we were very concise. And today, even though we felt comfortable with the composition and everything, right? I felt like we were just we did a bunch of like really silly mistakes and contested things we shouldn't, right? Like I think a prime example was the mid tower where they used the Herald, right? Like the tower's dead, and we're still trying to see if we can find something. So yeah, I think we ended up playing a bit too much into Lightside's win condition, pretty much, right? On top of basically enabling the Smolder really early by just a couple of
double kill.
Yeah, it didn't
so
help.
As a coach, you're watching from the sidelines and you're watching everything demolished. You're like, no, we do better. We're better than this. We showcased that yesterday, and Duckling was highlighting something which is really important. The race is now a complicated one for natives. Obviously, there's hope, but what does it take now for you to get back in the race? Because I know it's a tough question. So
it's a bit hard. I think we have to pretty much win the next 4 games, otherwise every result has to pretty much go in our favor, like insanely well, right? And I mean, even if we win the next 4, I don't think it's necessarily in our hands at this point, right? Simply due to how even the rest of the ladder is. So yeah, we kind of find ourselves again in this position where we're kind of 2 games behind now, to some extent, right? While 7 games doesn't guarantee us, it could still force us with a tiebreaker, right? So yeah, it's a bit of a hard blow, right? Especially considering the game yesterday and the fact that it's not like I mean, the schedule is easy, right? Because you guys talked about it yesterday. The league has been competitive and inconsistent, right? From everyone, I feel like some have just been less inconsistent than others, right? So
tell me something, because I was taking a peek at strength of schedule. That is my concern. You're playing Ready, you're playing Venom Crest, and you're playing the MG. So you're actually playing versus all the teams that are looking at the top of the standings. how concerned are you? And is there any team that you feel like any sort of concerns? Although you have to fight versus Blue Whites next week on the first day. But of all these 4 teams, is there any team that you're like, this is going to be a tough one. We're going to bleed.
I mean, I think the primary one is probably Roddy, right? Like the first round when we played against Roddy kind of felt the same as this light side game did, where for one, our composition in that game was not very good, to put it blunt. But other than that, I think, I mean, we beat Venom Crest, right? One of our few wins were against Venom Crest, and the match against DMG as well was super close. So I still feel confident against those teams, and I know that the guys also still, they still really want this. They don't want to go out like this. So it sucks that we couldn't pull out a win in a game like this, where we felt good about how our approach was to it, simply due to just messing up too much during the game, right?
Hey, it's gonna be a tough one, but hey, damn, we know you.
That it's, I think the crucial one is gonna be Ruddy, most likely.
Let's see how it lands. Best of luck, then. It's always a pleasure to talk to you, and I wish you the best until the end of the split.
Thanks.
It's rough, man. It's obviously rough, and I really like this coach. Like I really like this coach. Yesterday he made an out draft in the game we saw yesterday. Like he's really good, and now schedule is complicated. But at the end of the day, it's what we've been saying. If you want to win, you can't miss these games. You're not allowed.
Yeah, I think, as you're speaking to Demp and his character, I think he's been a coach who, throughout his career, has had a pretty decent amount of success, to be honest. He's obviously been in the Danish scene for many years. He helped Natives when they first started out as an organization playing in the Danish scene, and led them to some quite successful splits, right? He helped them win Division 2 a few times as well. That Natives roster that was unstoppable. That then, I want to say, the roster he built with Natives back then went on to the, I think, EBL. They qualified back-to-back for EMEA Masters. And Job, one of the talents he helped find and develop on Natives, I think he's now playing for Madline, Koi's Academy. Or what was then Ebai's team. I can't remember which organization it is currently, but I mean, he's helped develop some good talents. He's one of the most proven coaches we have in our region. And I thought if there was anyone who was going to be able to do this in the NLC, to take these unproven talent, it would be them. He's a coach who I genuinely rate very highly, but this time it just hasn't really worked out. And I mean, hopefully, I hope we see him and many of the players still next year in our league. And yeah, I'm very excited to see what he does next, because he's a coach who I have huge faith in that can do good stuff.
And you know what? It's really interesting to see like a Danish individual in esports like actually be such a good light into the scene.
I'm trying to be positive here, man. Don't stop flaming.
I'm saying the same. I'm just saying. I went to Denmark once. I was working there, and them showcased Copenhagen. Like he brought me to meet the city. I'm just letting you know that was so nice. You try to steal tickets from me. So, talking with the other team, we need to talk with Lightside. Rico is waiting for us.
Yeah, hello. How's it going?
Hello, how you doing? Wow, that's a good smile after this game.
Yeah, I mean,
what are you
this
nervous?
game went, I mean, a bit like our weaknesses right now, as in the Ruddy game, the early game. I mean, I'm pretty confident that we played quite well towards the later stage in the Ruddy game, and this game was also really good. Early game went quite well, no problems. We started scaling in bot. We had started the freeze in mid. We had reinforced the freeze with support and jungle. Our top lane got pushed and got moved, and reinforced, made the game stable. And from there, like, pretty happy. Like,
I really wanted to get this interview yesterday, because it looked like LLS was losing their identity, the weird picks and the AP bot. You brought in the Zeri yesterday. I'm like, Ariel install is open. What is happening? What are you doing to my boy Fruity Fresh? So my question to you is, do you think you guys needed to shake things up a little bit, or what's happened? I want to understand.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff. Like, I don't think we lost on champion picks at all. Like, maybe we can do more weird stuff, maybe we don't. Like, I don't think it matters that much. It depends on how we play, right? If we play good, we win. If we play bad, we lose. It's not like LPL top 5 teams, so even higher than where draft actually matters. I mean, draft doesn't matter to some extent, but we just have to play good. And if we play good, we win. And for the Fruity part, I mean, there are a lot of champions that we haven't picked even yet, that we have also refined. And like individual sessions for specific champions, I'm not gonna mention them yet, obviously right now, because, well, yeah. And I mean, yeah.
So another question to you is, LLS, we had the segment at the beginning of the show where we highlighted the fact that somehow you're losing steam. Do you feel the same? We're reaching to a point where you're not allowed to lose any sort of games, and the top of the standings are getting a little bit separated. So the top pack is separating themselves. If you miss, you actually miss playoffs.
I mean, from the start, like I want to just do the best we can, like. But from, let's say, just blame accept, the Steelers, we put us at the very bottom, and we already outperformed, so this is good. But obviously,
like
we want to go playoffs if we can. I mean, like, that's good, right? We're happy.
Yes, that's...
And I mean, we every game we play League of Legends, we won, or maybe most of them we won. Every game we play bad, we lost. So we work on that. We know what we need to work on, and... Yeah, we had like some break last week before, so it's like a bit rough. Obviously, then the team gets taken out. A lot of players were not available. I wasn't available for a while, and yeah. That's how it goes.
I like the view. Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe bad. Let's say it this way on broadcast. I understand. Rico, congratulations on the victory. Tell me.
I mean, we just go game by game, and eventually we'll see. Like if we win, yeah, that's how we go. Before we cut the entry, please rename my tournament account around with the first lowercase letter and not an uppercase. That would be amazing.
Just passing that to the producers. Thank you so much, Rico, for this interview. I wish you
have a great time. See ya.
There you go. I like these good spirits. Are you okay, Duckling?
Yeah, I'm okay. I was, enjoying the interview. I think you're good at it. But,
That was
you're
fresh.
leaving me in a very cold.
Yeah, no, you just had this sort of like little like rest in B face. I think they believe. I believe they call it.
See,
right?
then it gets personal, right? Because obviously, when I'm not looking at you guys, I'm not smiling because you guys make me happy. So I do have a bit of a resting B face.
Just like thinking Smolder made us all happy. That's why he took the MVP. Fruity Fresh with the MVP on this game for Lightside versus Natives. Specifically the game we highlighted. That's a smile.
I will say, right? This is a general trend that I'm witnessing in sports. But people who are bald are absolute masterpieces at tactics and crafting different stuff, right? We're seeing a lot of coaches pop up in Europe around football who are bald, who cook up delicious strategies. Fruity Fresh is cooking up delicious gameplay due to the beauty of a bald face. Of a bald head, yeah. It's just a point I've thought about. Like, if you start thinking about it,
like,
bald
okay,
people
great. Like,
it's good analysis.
Duckling, are we like trying to instill some copium? Like, how thin is it getting up there, bro? Like, are you wearing a wig or
There's
something?
a reason
What's going on?
It has reached the point that when I go to the barber, I make it very clear he needs to hide what is some very a bit of a receding hairline up here. So.
Ooh, now embrace it, bro. Embrace it.
No,
bro.
I'm not embracing shit,
it.
man.
Oh, there you go. Moving on to the next game. It's going to be Verdant versus NORD.
Banger!
Okay, I like to highlight the bot lane. We need to do it. Yoka joining in as well. This is an interesting one versus Dopamine, but my concern is Shihan versus Nile. I think Shihan is, just slowly digging himself. Like he needs to pull himself back, and Nile is Nile. Like, how can you talk about Nile?
Yeah, and I think the real difference that we can see between these two players is sort of highlighted by their experience to a certain extent. Nila has been playing League of Legends at this level for a very long time. Shihan is still relatively new to the scene, and so I don't actually think there's much separating these two players in terms of raw mechanical skill, right? But the decision making, I think, is where Nila has a clear edge over Shihan. When I look at Shihan, we still see a lot of these mistakes, a lot of these over-aggressive maneuvers that he doesn't need to make, which end up punishing not just himself, but things around the rest of the map for Verdant. So, again, we are looking here for Verdant, for them to sort of try and control the game a little bit more, and for, if we're focusing on Shihan specifically, to try and control his laning phase a little bit more. He is absolutely good enough of a player to take it toe-to-toe with Nilla. He just needs to make sure that he doesn't lose the game in the process.
He needs to be bold, I guess. That's what we got from that segment. Jumping into the champion select as Rumble is going to be removed, the tree on the other side, but this is the Ivern time. I found it interesting. Ivern didn't get a lot of attention today, not even on bans, not even picks, and yesterday it was banned every single game. So Interesting. Oh, the meta just shifted in one
Yeah.
day. Tristana, Corki available.
Yeah.
Tell me, Duckling.
I really want to highlight the Tristana band. It's a very, very good band. We saw the performance that Hunt had on it yesterday. That is the Hunt that I saw when I watched him down in the EBL. This aggressive solo killing, taking a lead and running away with it, Hunt. And he had a phenomenal Tristana game. So I was about to mention it, that this needs to be banned or picked up early on. The Syra band, though, I love to see that as well. Hate Syra's a champion, but she's extremely strong in the meta. In that jungle,
Nidalee.
Doberman played it.
Nidalee is open. I would just like to highlight that one because Yoka is alive. I don't know if you guys are aware of that, but Yoka was almost a one-trick pony with Nidalee. He's really aggressive. I'm just saying.
The question
running-
is, though, is this the time to put it out, right? Because obviously you have your pocket.
Yesterday it was
maybe
banned.
this is the time to whip it out, but at the moment this is also a crucial game for playoffs, right? Because if you're NORD, you lose this, all of a sudden you're in the contention of being one of the teams that might miss out on playoffs. Win this, you've got that breathing room coming into the last few weeks. So crucial game here for both teams. As Verdun, just like last game, we're fighting to keep their playoffs hopes alive because we are towards the tail end of the season. These wins matter a whole lot in keeping your hopes alive. And first pick Leona certainly interesting as yet again Corgi first picked on the red side for the third time in a row here, very likely, as Hunt locks it in with a Tristana band.
Yeah, and I think two names that we haven't really mentioned too much in this pre-show, probably the two best players on these rosters if we're talking about what we've seen from them so far this split. X-Drop and Ecstasy, the two AD carries. I think Ecstasy has had the benefit of potentially stronger pieces around him, but he is absolutely putting a name for himself as one of the best AD carries in the region. And it feels like every single time I watch Verdant, X-Drop is doing stuff that I don't expect him to be able to do. This guy has been immense, and that's why I think the Ezreal ban is so crucial from NORD, because this is a guy that can basically 1v5 on the pick if he's given space. Again, we're seeing a Rel locked in very, very early. This has been another thing that we've been seeing throughout the day because of the reliable counter engage that she can provide against someone like Leona. And it's getting a bit spicier here for Verdant. Carry jungle for Dopamine is something that has worked well for them in the past, and Syndra, whilst we don't see her massive amounts at the moment, is one of Harbo's most comfortable picks. And I think if you've got a player like Harbo, putting him on comfort is a very good idea.
And now that the matchup is known, Yoka feels confident enough to whip out the Nidalee. Certainly exciting to say the least. This first pick phase has certainly delivered some hype. And as we move into the second ban phase, both teams are in a very similar position. Jungle, support, and mid lane is all locked in. So top and 80 carries to be trimmed. I think maybe for Verdant, you'd like to focus on the top lane to make sure you get a decent matchup, because theoretically speaking, you are up against the counter pick here if they want to. So yeah, trimming that pool for Verdant seems like a good goal here, in my opinion.
To a certain extent, though, I look at Nilla as a sort of player that is just happy to lock in Ornn. And even if Shihan wants to play a carry into him, he could just absorb a lot of the pressure that he's going to put out, not fall down, and then be more useful in teamfights, especially when you've already got an additional carry champion in the Nidalee coming out of the jungle. This does mean, though, that I feel like NORD have got a potentially quite weak mid 2v2 here. Nidalee, Corki, neither one providing much setup for the other. They're just going to be dropping a load of damage, so maybe we do end up seeing the Corki flexed into the bottom lane. And the Jax ban, very, very big for NORD here. I think whilst Shihan's signature champion is the Darius, the champion that he's had the most success on throughout his NLC career is definitely this Jax. Not only a champion that can skirmish well, but is also able to provide massive amounts of value in the late game in terms of split pushing and in teamfights as well.
This is interesting because you take away the Jax, so you're kind of setting up the top lane. I like the Ornn angle, but you can actually go for the Renekton. Nidalee Renekton is a really scary duo, and Nile with Renekton, oh, that would be devastating. So I'm just bringing the opportunity that they have, and I don't know if they want to reveal it right now, or if they're going for the AD carry, because there was a lot of
likely taking the AD carry here, right? Kaiser's left open, Sarah's left open, champions that we've seen a lot throughout the day. This, I believe, would be the third time in a row that we see Corgi Kaiser paired together, if it is the lock-in here, Just by the books, look at the AD carry span, look what's left available. This is definitely the strongest in the meta. Sari is a possibility now for X-Drop, not that I would say I would be a fan of it. But let's see if there's anything different up his sleeve here.
I think you can go for the Ornn in Shihan, Because it's also
Yeah.
something that it can negate that stun if it appears on the top side. Apparently he's looking at the Aatrox, fancying that pick. It's an also a strong duelist if he wants to versus Nila to accept the challenge. Challenge accepted.
Okay.
And I think it just builds into this theme that Verdant have really got with their composition, where it's so based on getting the first kill in a team fight. And I think that considering that NORD haven't really drafted anything particularly tanky for themselves, they seem very well positioned to do that. I mean, you look at Syndra blowing someone up, that's getting Viega will reset, you're getting an Aatrox reset off that, and you've got enough pick in your composition to be able to get that.
Wow.
I really like what Verdant have actually pieced for themselves. You've got this super insanely aggressive 4-person core, and then X-Drop on the Smolder, someone that you know is going to be reliably dealing damage in teamfights on probably the most insanely disgusting teamfight AD carry, provided he's scaled up. NORD, they're still looking for so much stuff in this composition. You need a tank, you need some engage, you need some way to set up for this Nidalee and this Corki. I'm worried a little bit about the lock-ins which we've got here, about the draft which has been drafted. Yes, Joker is amazing on this Nidalee, but if you don't get snowballing on this champion, it could be very rough for you.
I want to see this 2v2 up at the top lane because, as you said, Ashram, the Ornn would have been able to negate the stun initially and maybe make a way out after with the E. I think the Aatrox a bit squishier, and if things go wrong up in this top side, it could go very wrong because then Nila and Yoka could just repeat the ganks, repeat the process, get more kills. Shihan, a lot of pressure on his shoulders, in my opinion, here to not fall behind and not allow Nila and Yoka to just snowball the game. So very much looking forward to his performance. Yeah, he has to have a big game in a crucial game as well for Verdant's playoff chances.
Further looking for that middle of the pack. If they get this victory, this will put them in a really good position, although NORD can secure themselves at the top 4, and that would be almost playoffs. We still have a few weeks ahead of us, but don't worry about that. We're just jumping into this game. High stakes, but high costs as well. Toss it to Hiprain and Foxdrop. How are you doing, Hiprain? I love you so much.
Thank
Said
you.
with enthusiasm.
I love you too, Archer. Yeah, sorry, blushing a little bit there. Getting ready to go into this game number 3. Me and you had a couple of things we were talking about off air while we were watching that. I'm not keen on the Nidalee. You're not either. Now, obviously, the Nidalee Renekton, very strong combo, but I find Nidalee too selfish as a jungler. You're kind of putting the game on you and how well you play as that Nidalee, where I feel at the moment you kind of want a jungler who plays for the team and can kind of offer utility to the team, but like Nidalee's only utility is she one-shots someone or she gives a small heal to the ADC, and that is it. That is all the Nidalee does. So,
yeah.
go on.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. It's a difficult champion to pilot, Nidalee, and for me, I don't think it speaks, to the 5-head 10,000 IQ drafting that we're seeing here from NORD. I think it more speaks to, okay, this is what Yoka's comfortable on, right? And this is what he wants to bring to the table, and perhaps take a little bit of control, even in the lane phase. With this Nidalee, which is a very proactive pick. It's very much like you've got to do things, you've got to look for plays, you've got to be aggressive, and kind of, take the ball by the horns a little bit here for NORD, and give them a little sense of direction, perhaps. And the fact that, Nidalee has picked that Renekton, as you mentioned, Renekton Nidalee it's a combo that was a thing in 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's still good for those reasons that it was good. Way back when. It's just like those two champions, I guess Nidalee specifically, is a little bit old as far as professional meta goes. But yeah, so we should see, a lot of eyes on Joker, because for him to be useful this game, he has to really pop off early. It really does have to come down to that, what he's able to provide early, because he will lack when it comes down the line. He will lack his usefulness, and just with a little bit of an asterisk here, when you take a look at the lineup on the other side from Verdant, Aatrox, Viego, Syndra, Smolder, they're pretty squishy champions, right? So these spears will still be impactful as the game goes on, regardless of whether or not Nidalee's able to get particularly fed. They're quite a squishy team comp.
Yeah, they are. Calm Sky avoiding and evading the W from Romeo. Spells a little bit of roughness there. Well, it doesn't really. It just means no one goes down. No summoners used, and little bit of vision is placed down, but there is vision and response by Dopamine there, able to place down on the red buff a ward, so they'll know where Yoka is. And I am interested to see what Yoka's going to do, because I honestly like to see them like just full clear topside and head to their to Sheehan and just try and get an early kill going. But with the fact that they're going to be clearing from this red side, they're not clearing up, so the early gank on the Renekton would have to come after the red buff is done.
If Sheehan dies to like a level 3 play topside, then I mean, there will be a few question marks, I would say, to that, because like it's Nidalee or Renekton. Like, you know you have a target on your back this game. You absolutely know it, right? And you should be able to predict what's going to happen. Like, you even have a ward down on Nidalee's red buff, right? You know where she's starting. You know what she's up to. And as such, you should not be able to let her get into the game by getting an early snowball off, right? So sometimes you can, you know, often measure Nidalee's success not in the kills that she has, but by the strength of her lanes, right? Because she should be making a lot of good plays early to do that. And also, on top of that, something I didn't really talk about too much, but it's still very relevant, is what she's able to do to the Viego. Because this is a matchup that Nidalee certainly can put a bit of pressure on as a champion that is, you know, looking to fight, looking to be a bit aggressive, looking to be more of a carry-focused champion. Isn't just like an AFK farming, tanky, whatever style champ that it doesn't really matter if Nidalee punishes. You can see she's already looking for it here with an invade.
Yeah, they know that Dopamine's on this side of the map. He has now picked up his smite. Spear came close there from Yoka, but in comes Romeo just to play interrupt, an annoyance for Dopamine. He doesn't have that smite available. Ecstasy even comes over. Beautiful little crash there by NORD, and ultimately, Yoka's going to be able to pick this one up, deny the camp, head away. And yeah, that's just going to be NORD getting himself a little bit of an advantage off there. Slowing down Dopamine a little bit more, who his next camp that is up is his Krugs. There's nothing on the top side of Yoka's jungle to take, so he's just going to have to take the L and walk all the way over and slows his pace down. And speaking of pace that was slowed down, Sheehan, knowing that Yoka was starting on that top side, had to play super safe and let Nidalee crash the wave into him. Nidalee has been able to get himself a marginal CS lead, although Sheehan did catch most of the wave that crashed. But it is that little kind of like, where is the Nidalee? And he only can play aggressive the moment the Nidalee went for that play bot side, and suddenly he's able to kind of get a bit of a grip back in his lane. Nidalee just doing his best to avoid and evade Sheehan's Qs here and eating too much of that extra damage. He's maybe looking for a light trade, but just playing the zoning game on Sheehan, who's kind of unfortunately just going to have to play a little bit more scared just due to the fact that he doesn't know where the Nidalee is anymore.
And here's something that's really interesting now, right? Look at Dopamine's pathing. His topside jungle's respawned and he recalled and bombed it down bot. Right? He has a sneaky suspicion that something's happening here because Verdant's wave was pushing. Maybe he thought Joker was going to be around and look for a play. But there's certainly no proactive play to be made here for Dopamine. So this is more like protecting Verdant's bot lane.
He's losing his camps.
But yeah, dude, this is a big investment for Dopamine right here. Like, Nidalee is in his top side. He's stopping that from happening. There's nothing respawning bot side for Dopamine, either on his side or on Nidalee's side, because Nidalee just took this. This is coming at a big cost, and I'm surprised he's doing this, especially on a champion like Viego that wants to farm.
Oh, it's so sad. He checked for the grump, and it wasn't there.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a tough one here for Dopamine. He's... Oof. Yeah. Not too happy at the end of the day there.
He's now down 10 to 12 CS to Joker, but I guess the things you kind of got to go off is, what has Joker actually achieved other than putting the Viego behind so far? Not a massive amount. Obviously, Dragon, it has only just spawned. The Grubs have only just spawned. It's only 5 minutes in the game. So far, it's mostly been kind of a counter jungling game and a game of kind of denial from Dopamine to slow down his advancement through the game. Joker now has his full jungle pretty much to clear. Can grab that. Is actually heading over towards the Dragon off the back of this one. Picked up the pen boots immediately as well, so it's going to kind of accelerate their damage off the back of that. And NORD, as soon as they get themselves set up for this Dragon, Ecstasy and Romeo get control of the lane, shove it out, make it very hard for them to come in for the contest on the Dragon, and Dopamine's doing his best to kind of grab whatever camps he can, but I don't think he's even interested in checking out the Dragon because he's just want to scrap together whatever jungle camps he can.
That's what he's doing. He's salvaging something here by taking these Krugs. To be fair, I think he might be able to scout out this Dragon before it goes down, but when you've got lane pro in both your mid and your bot, Dragon is really just, it's free. And that's what we're seeing here. NORD will be able to pick this one up. A-OK. Dopamine took Krugs. He's now going to be recalling. But again, he's behind the pace here. He's lacking the tempo in this one because you ideally want to be in a position where Dopamine's taking the grubs while this Dragon is going down. This isn't necessarily on Dopamine himself, although like what he did earlier certainly put himself behind the docket here a tad. It's more like what you don't have any lanes that are in a good spot for you to exist in the river, right? You can't do it right now, right? Hunt is pushing really hard and slapping Harbor about as well. Nile is pushing really hard. Bot lane's pushing
Romeo.
really hard. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough for Dopamine right here.
Romeo knows this is going down. Joker, making his way over. One grab picked up for Dopamine. It's rough for him right now. He's definitely in Struggleville, but, you know, you are looking at a Renekton who's going to fall off, realistically. You know, isn't going to be able to kind of offer as much as an Aatrox will later on into the game. Nidalee, you know, I wouldn't say Nidalee falls off at all, but, you know, does kind of want to snowball on this champion. And so far, it's snowballing via objectives more than physical gold. They've only got a 200 gold lead over their opponent, but they are about to full clear their top side. And level-wise, only just hit level 6 onto Dopamine, where Joker's been level 6 for a little bit longer. So just kind of upping their damage a little bit more. And interested to see where the action's really going to break out, because at the moment it feels like Dopamine's so far behind that Vert aren't even interested in taking any scraps or any engages of any sort. They'd rather just play the waiting game, get some gold, get some time onto X drop on this Smolder. I forgot the name of the champion there for a second. Is obviously going to have so much time where, you know, once they come online, once they hit those 2-2-5 stacks, they're just going to be so scaled. It's going to be very hard to actually take fights. A lot of squishy targets, which is perfect for the Smolder.
Like he's just saying, we've already seen a Smolder pop off once today, not too long ago on Fruity Fresh. Really able to bring the pain down for the light side in our last game. There's see if we can do something similar here for X drop. Joker though, always keep my eye on him because, you know, whenever you see Nidalee, it's kind of just what you have to do. 10 CS advantage, 0-0-0 isn't really enough to justify this Nidalee being picked. You'd like to have seen Dopamine be put even further behind, and I feel like Dopamine has made himself a pretty decent victim to get bullied.
Yeah.
But I don't think Joker's really taken full advantage of it. Like, there were times when Joker, for example, he invaded and took Gromp, but not Wolves as well. But here comes the engage. Calm Sky, though. Oof. Whiffs on the Solar Flare. Romeo just jumping away with this W. And again, wasted time here for Dopamine.
I feel like if this was like a Brand or a Lilia, I'd be a lot more worried for Verdant right now. Like, Brand and Lilia are going to offer so much more in the later fights and when the game goes on. But right now, it's, you know, you are playing with a Nidalee who is, yes, up, but is a 300 gold lead up. They're a little bit up in the experience factor as well. Looking for a play here onto X drop. Mum gets called in. Ecstasy tanking these tower shots. Actually, it's Romeo tanking the tower shots. And X drop is able to survive. Oh. First blood does get picked up there for Ecstasy as Joker's able to break away. Romeo also very low HP, but Calm Sky losing so much health. Does look like NORD will be able to pick this plate up, and Calm Sky still has that Zenith Blade. They may actually just go for the redive. Zenith Blade goes wide. They've got the Q, they've got the W, they're waiting it out. That's going to be the W down, instantly coming in for the stun. That's going to be Ecstasy repositioning underneath the tower. NORD give the execute over as well. That was what I've been wanting to see out of this Nidalee.
Yeah, but it's so illegal, isn't it? Here comes Dopamine. He's picked up his first kill. Can he get more?
I think Joker's in a whole world of heat. They're going for executes, but I think X-Drop should just be able to get this one. Down he goes. Dopamine finds the kill. Double kill for Dopamine.
Bruh, considering that dive lasted about 3 minutes, I'm surprised it didn't go worse for NORD right there. They really did come out relatively unscathed from that one. So, yeah, fortunate execution there for NORD. It was a little bit, like I said, a bit illegal for them to get away with that for so long. Dopamine able to pick up a little bit on the backside there, including that kill onto Corki mid. So, he's got himself, 2 kills on here now.
Corki roamed bot lane to kind of cover the escape and died.
Caught. Yeah, I think it must have been, but how did you just walk away from
Oh no, that is the end of days for Hunt. Dopamine's in the game. Like, he was denied heavily early, but he is very comfortably in the game. Got the Kraken Slayer. I mean, Joker, I don't know what his game plan's going to be right now. Does get a lot of damage off of Tukansky with the spear. That's the Hextech alternator kind of paying in dividends for him, but...
This is Lichbane first time, I think, from what I think that's... Yeah, they've changed the build path recently for a lot of the AP items, but I'm not sure if alternator is actually in it though. I might be completely...
Yeah, it's alternator, Sheen, and...
is it that and Sheen?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the Ether Wisp. Yeah, so, but that to me is like, holy moly, that's even more risky now, because Lichbane obviously as an item, you get full effectiveness out of it when you're jumping in, when you're getting your takedown. Sheen hits off, and that relies you have to be in the fray. You have to be in the thick of things, and bloody hell, that is not something I'd want to do versus Leona, Syndra, and all these kind of champions as well. So really playing into that kind of like assassin style, solo queue style Nidalee. So a lot of pressure for him to execute.
Magnet Storm gets thrown down. They do get the lockdown onto X-Drop. He is obliterated. They are going to find themselves a turnaround. 1-for-1, but ADC for support. And the kill goes on to Calm Sky.
It's good.
Very good.
Good play there for NORD. Good execution. As much as we've put this Nidalee under a microscope, that's the kind of play that you want to do. That's the kind of thing that Nidalee's good at doing. She has a lot of damage. It's difficult to execute it. That's one of the biggest criticisms of Nidalee, is that it's easy for you to whiff a spear. Someone flashes your spear and suddenly you're not a champion for a while anymore. All you can do is heal, etc. But when it works, it works. And you saw it there with Joker, able to get that dive off.
I just think Dopamine's played this game very well. As much as he was put behind, he has been able to really have an impact in this game. And considering everything, I just... massive props over to Dopamine in this game, but we expected it to kind of be Nilly getting a lot of the love from his team, but actually he's kind of just been put on the island here on this Renekton, and instead they played towards the bot side and played towards a major scaling champion for them in Ecstasy on the Kai'Sa. So it has actually worked out, the Joker pick, and yes, we were critical,
so far.
But
I have to this admit, is it. We're 14 minutes into the game, Jake, and it's like, to be perfectly honest, my biggest criticism of this pick wouldn't have manifested until we get like 20-25 minutes in,
True.
So I think that's still worth keeping our eyes on, definitely. But I would, I think to your credit, what you're saying is it's working right now. It is working. They're getting success with it, and that's good. That's exactly what NORD we're trying to do with this Nidalee pick.
They did give up 4 grubs, but they've been able to secure 2 for themselves. They've been able to secure 2 dragons as well. It is an Infernal Soul, which if I had a Nidalee on my team, that's probably one of the best case scenario souls to be able to pick up. You're going to be very happy with that one. Hextech would also be nice just for the slow coming from the spear, but ultimately... Oh! Yeah, X-Drop loses a fair amount of health. Has to mum the wave. And they actually do get some damage off on to the Crocodile. But he's able to break away now. Dopamine's actually done a lot of damage to Romeo. Spear goes wide here from Joker. Joker will be able to switch into Cougar form, jump the wall, and just get a little bit of damage off onto Dopamine and move away. Sheehan, is he going to be able to find the jump onto Hunt? Hunt, 0-2 on the Corki. Hasn't really hit a major power spike yet. Needs to get that Triforce online to really kind of start doing the Corki damage that you're used to. And Sheehan going to be able to comfortably clear the wave away. Nearly also able to survive the pressure that was put onto them.
What's great about having a tier item as your power spike is that you kind of hit a 2-item power spike at the same time. Yeah, so you get like 2 items at the same time. Does that make sense? So I'll say, for example, if you went like, Essence Reaver into Infinity Edge or something like that. That's like, okay, you get one item, then you got to wait and you get your second item. When it's a tier, because that's the spike is with it charging, it's like you finish Triforce, and then you only have to spend a little bit of extra gold to get the Manamune, and then boom, because it's all charged up, that's a huge spike already, right? So it kind of means that it takes a while to get to your first spike, but when you do hit that first spike, it's like twice as strong as other champions. So yeah, like Corki right now is a little bit meh, to be honest, as far as his strength goes, but this thing is going to quickly turn into something crazy here. Is like,
it's trade offer. You receive 2 items. I receive you being 400 gold down at an early game.
Yeah, you being a minion for 20 minutes. Exactly. Precisely that. That's what I'm trying to say. Very well, eloquently put there, Jake. So yeah, so basically Corki, right now, not a big deal, but soon will be a very big deal.
Yeah, he's going to be able to do a lot of damage. Dopamine's getting invaded. Is able to finally upgrade his smite and finish that off for himself. Joker only a little bit ahead. Last time I checked, they were both on 4 stacks on their items, so credit was credit due. Dopamine caught back up. He did also just catch a spear, so loses half his health, and classic Nidalee gaming here, really. Very hard. Dragon spawning up. Obviously, NORD going to be eager to get their hands onto this one. Nidalee, Execution is calling Eclipse in their pocket. Teleport available to them. Verdant want to go in for this one, but with Dopamine eating a couple of spears here and there, it does make it harder to contest the Dragon when the Nidalee is just poking you out over and over again. Tower goes down to Hunt as well off the back of that one, so he's just catching the wave, and I think NORD might be okay with just giving this Dragon over. Or are they?
Yeah, this is it. This is why I'm just waiting to see. I don't think they want to.
No, they're coming in.
Yeah, they're thinking about it. Here we go. It's going to be a
Hunt's
contest.
on the flank. They're going to throw everything down. Mum gets called in immediately, and Romeo goes down. They trade out 1 for 1. Calm Sky losing a lot of HP. Flashes away, but Nilly's onto the backline. Hunt being pinned in place by Sheehan as he's trying to dodge and dive and duck away, but Hunt secures the kill. Dragon low. Joker going to be able to secure that one. And Ecstasy chasing X-Drop down. The barrier is going to save his life. Can he land the W? I don't think he can. He's going for someone else. Down goes Harbo.
Honestly, really well played there for NORD. And a lot of credit to Joker was landing. Yeah, you can't do that anymore.
Weird looking chicken.
Yeah, that. Honestly, you used to be able to do this. You used to be able to chuck Shelly over the wall, but actually, since she's changed to this form of Shelly where you can ride her, you actually just can't do that, which is sad. But yeah, not a thing. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Gets 2 charges. Good team fight for NORD. Question marks about the Nidalee is always what I'm going to be looking at in these team fights because we've set it up to, be an important factor of this game. But she was great. She landed like 2 or 3 spears. She get a spear, jump in, assassinate, walk back out again. Just exactly what you want from a Nidalee. A huge threat, huge pressure, and part of that comes from not a lot of good tools to deal with her, and having squishy members on Verdant's side, right? Like imagine if this Viego's like the Poppy that we saw last game, right? Like Nidalee would do much less damage because he's tankier, and Nidalee would be so afraid to jump in because of the steadfast presence that she wouldn't ever really be useful. So that's not the case this game at all, and she's able to run riot. It just comes down to execution, and so far 5 out of 5 stars here for Joker. Done very well.
I'm also very happy to see this build coming out from Ecstasy because we saw Ruddy go a different build on their Kai'Sa in game number 1. Hunt able to break away. Can he get caught? Yes, he can. Doesn't have the flash. Does a whole heap of damage into Dopamine. Wow. Oh, that was a little bit scary.
Yeah, so much damage there. He hasn't even finished that Manamune yet either, so that's gonna continue to be scary.
Wait, are they going to 20-minute Baron?
I mean, that's a delayed recall as well on Dopamine. I don't think they're gonna do it. I'd be surprised. I would be surprised.
Yeah, Kai'Sa's moving away.
Yeah, they're just gonna send her.
They also don't have teleport on Nidalee, which I think is probably the key factor here for them. I think if Nidalee had teleport, they would have down to be at least try it. But I think, yeah, without teleport on their Crocodile, that could have gone a little pear-shaped. But yeah, just going back to it, I much prefer this Kai'Sa build. I think you have a lot more kind of safety in the build. The damage is crazy high as well. I think the main thing as well is, especially when you got a Nidalee here, the poke potential, because you're going to be able to cycle the W a lot more regularly. The W is also just going to hit like a truck off this build as well. So I think the potential for this build is a little bit higher. I do understand why in that last game, well, in the first game we saw that particular Kai'Sa build from Ruddy. And if anything, it just speaks to the versatility of Kai'Sa, because she has so many different variants of her build you can go, and I wouldn't say any are particularly wrong. I just prefer the Guinzoos into Nash's, into Wit's End, or...
Yeah, I think for what it's worth as well, like, this gives you a little bit more magic damage in your build too. So when you've got, you know, like walking mid and stuff, and your only other magic damage is a Nidalee, then I think it's cool for you to invest a little bit more into magic damage from your build as Kai'Sa. But no, I agree. It's a strong build. You can see, like, Ecstasy is crazy strong. Middlecourt even said this on the desk too. So very nice foreshadowing by him. Like, a bit of a spoiler alert. I didn't realize he had access to the script. But he said that Ecstasy was, you know, one of our best ADCs here in the NLC, and has been proving it time and time again. And look at this game, 400 gold bounty, 3-1 and 2. He's making a name for himself once again, really just solidifying himself. I have to say, I agree with Middlecourt. I think Ecstasy here has been a shining point for NORD. And Romeo needs to get a lot of credit for that too, because I think he's a fantastic support. He was brilliant last year, or last split, sorry. And he's continuing to do so here.
I think Romeo has played this game very, very well, constantly on the map. And it's one of those things where I think, especially if you're playing like an engaged support, your KDA does not always reflect how well you've played. Although Dopamine does have, you know, 5 or 6 kill participation, so has been having a lot of impact for the team. And actually, same for Ecstasy as well, both 5 out of 6 on the kill participation. Really, really nice to see, though. Romeo has been setting up the plays, moving around, and just being a complete brick wall for NORD, which is what they need, because you've got a Renekton. He's not kind of your strict tank. He will be able to frontline for you, but that's not really what he's all about. There's a dragon spawning up in 15 seconds, and you know NORD are going to be looking for that. Dopamine. Oh, my
there's
word.
3 of them. 1, 2, 3 with a hat-trick pokes.
And that might be Soul. That actually just straight up might be Soul. He's gone to go do his Krugs to get some lifesteal and some health back.
Yeah.
But NORD are going to be able to start this one up real quick, as Sheehan's actually making his way over. Spear goes a little bit wide. So does the W there. The Prey Seeker doesn't quite hit. Hunt has to break away. Isn't pulled in by the Infernal Chains. And Dopamine has been able to heal up somewhat off the back of this one, but another spear comes in. Karmsky gets hit. They actually do get onto Hunt. Hunt flashes away. They call Mum down. In jumps the Kai'Sa. Ecstasy, low HP, but doing some work. Hunt's already got one. It's a 1-for-1 so far, but Hunt goes down. That's going to be another kill picked up for Verdant, and that's going to be Joker going in for the lockdown of the orbs. Everything goes wrong for the side of NORD, but their health bars are too low to keep this one going. Can Ecstasy secure the dragon, or can he secure the fight for his team? Low HP on Verdant. Maybe the assassination is available to him. Catches the W onto Karmsky. Loses a lot of health onto him. Got another W in the kit. Karmsky's low. The bird, the traps!
The Nidalee trap!
No!
Oh, goodness gracious. Karmsky, that was unfortunate. That was unfortunate. But Ecstasy with some good rockets right there. 2 of them in a row. Oh, mate, that was yeah, unfortunate. That's what I'm going to say about it. But what a great team fight for Verdant. Like, holy moly, they actually managed to pull that one out. I was doubtful coming into it. I thought NORD was actually going to be able to use that as, you know, that was it. That was the soul. And to be honest, at this point, it might just be because Karmsky has just respawned, right? This is now essentially a 4v5 with your main front line dead. You do not have the engage. Dopamine's going to have to go for the steal, but it's too late.
Yeah, they had the inside track. That staggered kill worked for NORD way better than you kind of would have expected it to there. And Soul now picked up on the NORD. 24 minutes in the game. They get the Infernal Soul. They've got a very strong Kai'Sa. They've got a lot of long-range poke as well.
Yeah,
that Infernal Soul is going to absolutely clap when it hits.
Yeah,
Hunt actually getting caught out here by Sheehan, but he has got himself his jungler in the area, and now Sheehan with the ult on the World Ender, caught out by the smite. They're getting some healing down. They don't have the anti-heal to really handle him. They're getting him at arm's length, though, and Hunt is able to secure the kill. NORD, lovely little pickup for them off the back of that.
I really liked the point that you just made there, the poke, right? This is something which I think, at least for me, I've undervalued this team comp, was just the poke potential, right? Nilly Spears, Corky Rockets, Kaiser W's, especially since she's itemizing into more of an AP focus build. It's so much damage from the poke. When you lack a lot of tanky members on the other side, who can eat the poke? No one can. No one wants to, at least. And so you see situations where Dopamine's being forced to face check, and then he ate like two, one rocket and a Nilly Spear, and he was down like 40% health. And then a Kaiser W came in from downtown, and he was down to like 10%. It's just gross. It's really, really hideous stuff. And now you're adding an Infernal Soul on top of that.
I think they got the perfect soul for what they're rocking, right? Like, you couldn't have asked for a better soul right now, and when these W's from Ecstasy start to hit, it is going to hurt. He's got the AP in his pocket with that Nash's 2. Probably building Zhonya's as the foreflight, and that's typical for a Kaiser at this level. And there you go. W lands onto Dopamine. Does a little bit of damage just to poke it out, but there's the next one of the Calm Scare. And they can just continue to do that. Spear connects. Lockdown comes in. Magnet Storm connects as well. Calm Sky's lost way too much HP. Scatter the Weak does land onto Ecstasy, who cleanses away. Calm Sky able to escape with his life, though. Here comes another Prey Seeker going a little bit wide. Not going to quite hit the mark. Ecstasy didn't pull the trigger on the Killer Instinct there. I respect the hustle. I think it could have been a mistake if he did. They just continue to poke out, continue to whittle away at Verdant's health bars.
But at the end of the day, even though Verdant's health bars are very low, only one person died there in that exchange, and that was Romeo on NORD. So, still an advantage overall for Verdant. They are going to start this one up here. I don't think they'll do it. They're just trying to be sneaky, but they've been spread out.
Sheehan! He's in danger. The Killer Instinct connects. IXC has to go away immediately. We do see Joker go in for the lockdown. They instantly blow up Joker, though, finding the turnaround. Hunt goes down next. 2 kills for the side of Verdant. They're just going for Baron off the back of that.
NORD, what are you doing? It's way too much at this point. They were trying to sneak it away, I think, but Romeo wasn't around, and they had to get out of that one. They turned on Sheehan instead of just running away. Instead of just
going to be hard.
Like, yeah, this is it, though. 3 versus 4. Don't have the smite if you're NORD either.
You don't have the Magnet Storm either. Baron going to 2,000 HP. Nearly jumps in. Dopamine's forced out of the pit. He comes back in. Able to secure it, but what cost? Going down. 1 kill picked up for Nilly. Calm Sky going very low here. Ecstasy's playing on the flank. He's going to now engage into the fight. Goes in too late. Does trade out, but Ecstasy just a little bit too hesitant.
Well, I mean, he was to begin with, and then right at the end, he jumps into the pit with 3 people alive. Yeah, that feels like a... Yeah, that's a bit of a head scratcher.
Bro, if that was my ADC, they're getting spam missing pings right now. What? Like, the team engage, he waits until they finish, until they're all dead, to then jump in. It's like, you got to go down with the team or just call it and let them die. That was a real fumble there from Ecstasy, to be honest.
Yeah, well, yeah, regardless of what happened at the beginning of that fight, you don't run 1v3 into a Baron pit. When the Baron's dead as well, yeah. Bit questionable on that one, but still, great turnaround again from Verdant. These guys were looking like they were done. It was dusted, right? This 24-minute Dragon Soul, the Infernal Soul for NORD, just spelled GG for Verdant, to be frank. But they managed to find a good little skirmish. They managed to then find another good skirmish, and then a third one. And suddenly, 5 minutes later, it's Verdant who are in the driver's seat. They've got the gold lead now. They're honestly looking pretty scary at this point. NORD really have done an impressive job of throwing this one away so far. Not to write off the game entirely and say
I like you saying NORD have done an impressive job of throwing it.
I mean,
Verdant have done a good job reading it. I mean, let's be real. You are correct.
It's A and B, mate, honestly. It's, yeah, a little of both, to be honest. A little of both.
Sheehan taking quite a lot of poke there. They are doing a bit of work. But Harbo, honestly, the scatter of the weeks coming in from this guy have been really impactful. A lot of work being done. They used the mum there. 40 seconds until Elder. Should be up in time. Has got a lot of cooldown reduction in this build, and that cannon slowly but surely whittling away at the tower. W's keep coming in from Ecstasy, but that's all he can really do is just long range poke it down, and another wave is going to be crashing in real soon. Reset there from Hunt is going to become back fresh with the rapid fire cannon in their pocket. And Verdant Trying to see if they can contest this. Spear from Joker doesn't quite make the connection. And Elder 16 seconds off. NORD looking for something. Nilly on a flank here on the Crocodile. They need to catch Harbo or X-Drop if NORD want a chance of winning this fight. They've got that Elder, they've got that poke. Joker getting flanked though is going to have to just reposition away. Still, the poke is continuing. They are slowly whittling away at Verdant's health bar at a long range, and that is the crucial thing that is costing Verdant here. Elder's going to get started up. Dopamine in the other side of the map. Calm Sky still continuing to take some poke. They're going to throw down the W from Calm Sky. Nilly's getting engaged onto. He is breaking away, but X-Drop gets poked out. Again, a lot of damage coming in from NORD. Can the steal come in? Can the hero play happen? Smite secured. Elder on the side of NORD. This should be their moment. Calm Sky goes down. Double kill, though, picked up for X-Drop. Ecstasy, he has no team. He has no front line. Comes in for some damage. Dopamine's going low. Ecstasy turns it somehow, but only Hunt has Elder.
Just one person alive, like you said here for NORD. My goodness, when you get an Infernal Soul and an Elder Dragon and you go for the team fight and you almost get wiped. My goodness, Verdant with their team fights here are just really running the rift at this point. Like you mentioned before, Harbo with his Scatter the Weeks, Drop with his damage as well. Like, it's an insane combination. Look at the mid and ADC from the green team. 500 gold bounty, 7, 1, and 9. 700 gold bounty, 6, 2, and 10. These guys are really tough to deal with at this point. And the team fight from NORD is just simply faltering.
Smolder is such a ridiculous champion, but in response to that, NORD don't actually have a solid answer. Romeo is the hardest CC they've got on their team, other than a potential Nilly flank. How do you actually get X-Drop? You have to get Romeo to lock him down, and he's Smolder. He's going to play nowhere near Romeo. So somehow this poke, this damage has to come out onto him, and then they have to find the pick. It's so hard for NORD to find that answer. Hunt slowly working towards that Infinity Edge, which will be a pretty big spike for him off the back of it. But I do worry. XC's actually going for the Death Cap and not the Zhonya's as well, so kind of avoiding and evading some of that kind of survivability, but is going to opt into a lot more damage from having that Death Cap finished up. And there it is now in the inventory. I'd like to see a last item Death Cap. Not Death Cap, Zhonya's.
Well, so I think it's a smart adaptation here, though, for NORD. They seem to understand that these team fights just aren't working, right? It's not a thing right now. So yeah, Zhonya's is great for team fights. It's far superior than Death Cap in these, you know, grouped up fights. But I think NORD know they have to, you know, it's the Prey Seekers that are going to win them the team fight, right? The Prey Seekers that happen 30 seconds, 1 minute before the fight even starts. Those are what really matter. And the Death Cap is better for that, right? So basically NORD now building a little bit more for the poke. And trying to win a team fight through that. As we'll see if they can land all these skill shots. It's a lot to dodge if you are Verdant, but so far they've been doing a solid job of making that happen.
Well, Baron's going to be spawning up. Nilly did get a good grip hold on that bot wave and was able to shove the tower in, but going to have a slow push away from them as well. So NORD don't really have to worry too much about the lane state outside of Baron, outside of mid, but Verdant immediately starting the Baron up on spawn. They know this is going on, and Verdant know the best thing they can do is not play an extended long game. They want to be avoiding the poke, avoiding the damage, but Joker, can he come in for the steal? Can he come in for the miracle? He's going to go! He did it! He even gets over the wall to safety! Sheehan's keeping the pressure up onto him, but I don't think he's going to be able to get in range. A lot of damage comes out. NORD playing that beautifully. X-Drop's breaking away. Here is Romeo. This is what we wanted to see. They come in for the instant backdrop. The shutdown. The kill. They trade out 1-for-1 so far. They're scattered. They're grouped. Verdant getting themselves in a lot of health bars, though. Trying to put some damage onto the side of NORD. The health bars are blinking. NORD finds the crucial pick, but it does come at the cost of Ecstasy's life. Joker! This is MVP performance from them. That steal was game-saving.
And they're not just going to get the Baron and a decent team fight, but that is 2 towers mid plus an inhibitor, which will set them up nicely for this Elder Dragon dance in 2 minutes' time. Yeah, that trade, though, of Ecstasy for X-Drop, absolutely worth it. When X-Drop's worth as much gold as he is, like, brilliant stuff. And your prayers have been answered, Jake. That is going to be a Zhonya's last item.
Oh, no,
for the
Dopamine.
Kaiser. I'd be careful still. Although maybe Nord have overstepped here.
Yeah, they're looking for Romeo. Ecstasy still not
Oh
alive, but
my
dopamine
goodness,
is
Hunt.
so low. Hunt's on the run. The scanner lands onto multiple people, but no one's peeling Hunt. In comes Nilly. Hunt, can he survive? No, Sheehan secures the kill. Calm Sky's going low, but Joker's on the wrong side of the rift, getting caught out by the scanner, able to break away. Mum's called in. Joker's still on the run. Verdant on the hunt for Joker, the person who can steal the Elder from them. They're keeping the pressure up. Joker still running away. I don't think Romeo's going to be able to save the day here. He tries to get the kill onto X-Drop. X-Drop gets the kill onto him. What a heavy cost was paid. Hunt and Joker go down.
Well, what? And what did they even get out of it? I think Nord just overstaying there, trying to find the pick. Unfortunately, I mean, Elder Dragon spawning in 50 seconds, right? You got 40 seconds on Joker's death timer. That is 10 seconds for Joker to be in the area, so you know, if you're a Nord fan, fingers crossed that's enough time. But you have to consider as well, any objective play isn't just killing the objective, it's the setup for the objective. And that 10 seconds isn't going to be enough to buy, you know, for Nord to be able to set up for this Elder. So now you're seeing it here, right? Verdant have all this time while Joker's dead to set up, to get vision deep in this bot side jungle, to sweep the vision away from Nord, and now Nord are going to be face checking into Fog of War. Ecstasy though, attacking
Just going for Sheehan. Gonna go for the side lane. He's got all the damage they need to finish it up. The tower goes down. They've got Baron. They're gonna trade Elder for an inhibitor, potentially the end of the game. Two people have to recall. Hunt and Joker in the area. Elder going very, very low. Sorry, Elder being started up. The inhibitor's in already. And Nord, they're just pressuring up onto this tower. They can't overextend. They can't go for more. Calm Sky looking for Ecstasy. Hunt and Joker have forced them off the Elder. This is Nord getting everything. Verdant just being pulled around the map. Nord.
Wow.
Beautiful.
That is a masterclass. That is a masterclass of how you pour victory from the jaws of the beast. How on earth did they just get away with that? That is insane. Finding the call to go topside with your ADC, with the rest of your team when Elder Dragon is spawning. That takes guts by itself. But to... oh my goodness. They actually just have Verdant around their little finger. And this game was completely slipping away from Verdant. This was all Nord, right? It was all Nord up until about 5 minutes. You know what? It was all Nord up until whenever that was. A minute ago. Verdant, sorry. Like, that's ridiculous stuff right there for them to pull that one out. Now they have Dragon Soul. They have Elder with it. And crucially, this time around, unlike the last time they got Elder, they actually have a 5-member strong. Plus the poke. Oh my goodness.
Oh, X-Drop. They get a little bit of additional burn from the Gift of the Elder as well, but they just got to wait for the wave, sync it up. No Baron to assist with this push. But Nord going to be feeling comfortable. Someone has to go deal with these supers that are both crashing in mid and top at the same time. X-Drop's going to be the one sent over to do that. Nord can open up onto this tower a little bit here. Down it goes. Looking for the stun coming in from Dopamine. Mum gets called just to clear the wave, but the tower going so low. Calm Sky losing a lot of HP. They're just going to full commit, take the tower down. That's another inhibitor, but should fall to Nord. With this Elder Dragon, it's just so hard to push forward. Inhibitor goes down. That's 3 lanes pushing in their favor. Mid-inhib respawns in the next minute, so this may just be a recall angle here for Nord. Spend the gold, get some pots if you don't have any, and look for the final push. But they've still got Elder for 40 seconds, so Nord may be feeling comfortable to stick around and see if they can find that pick.
You want to make the most of that Elder Dragon while it's up. All that's left now is the Nexus and the Nexus turrets. Very hard for you to siege that. With Baron spawning too as well, maybe Nord just decide cut the invade off here into the enemy base and instead set up for that big purple worm spawning soon. But Nord are still thinking about something. You know, one good spear, maybe a couple of Kaiser W's, and suddenly you can pull the trigger and you can fight. They do realize now that's maybe a risky endeavor, and instead get away.
I do think the mid-inhib was on their mind, and they were like, let's try and take that, but thinking they'd overstayed their welcome. Just going to see what they can get here, and oh, it is very intense. Baron spawning up, Verdant looking to contest, but the supers pouring in through the bot side. These next waves are both double super waves as well, on bot and top. because all 3 inhibs were down. After that, it is single supers, but it is going to be a hard ask here. They need to crack that mid inhib if they want to have maximum pressure, but I don't think NORD are really going to have the opportunity to do that without Baron.
Exactly, yeah, I agree. But maybe they found the picks here onto Verdant.
They're looking for dopamine. They get the lockdown onto him. He is gone. That's Baron.
That's it.
Instant Baron.
What is that Syndra TP? Did you see that?
No.
TP from bot inhib to top inhib.
Oh, well, that was a mistake. Baron's getting started up. Baron's getting finished up. They're all just going to clear the wall. I don't think Ecstasy can actually recall. X-Drop's doing a lot of work here.
Yeah, what the hell? He's 1v5ing here. He's got to be careful. I think he knows that the flashes were blown from NORD. He'll dopamine, but... And of course, because he's a new champion, he also flies the wall, so that's fine too. The ADC, that his auto attacks, they're all AoE and he can fly over walls. Fantastic. Brilliant. Love that.
Silly champion. There is a deep hatred in my heart for Spyro the Dragon. Not the real one, this one.
This one. No, I agree. Honestly, I've had some tough games. Like, obviously, you know I'm a jungle player, and it's like, yeah, this is a guy that scales really hard, so you try and shut him down early, but it's just so damn slippery. It's like tough to shut down. It's really frustrating. I just a little bit of League of Legends PTSD. I swear every time I play versus a Smolder, we'll be like 8k up, and if we don't close the game because solo queue always goes longer than it needs to, the Smolder will just win the game for the enemy team, even if he's 0-10. Anyway, that's over. Let's see if he can win this one. Yeah, 42 minutes on the clock now. He's certainly trying his best. He's got a lot of damage. He's also sold his boots as well for a 6th damage item.
Oh my word.
This could be the team fight. This could be the moment.
The QSS is absolutely huge. Let's see if it pays off. Instantly, they trade out. Romeo gets the kill. That's 2 for the side of NORD. Hunt survives the healing. The Nidalee. We said it would happen, and it did. X-Drop goes down. Harbo is the only one left standing. The inhib will fall. Verdant will be quick to follow their inhibitor as the towers are getting taken. Harbo, can he make a hero play happen? He cannot. Hunt takes him down. Nexus falls. 42 minutes on the clock. NORD get the win. 23 kills either side.
What a game, Jake. Holy moly. That was so back and forth right there. And some of the most impressive macro that I think we've seen, at least today. I thought that was a ridiculous game. Loved that.
Yeah.
And so much damage as well. It's so nice when, you know, the team comps aren't just built to like protect, you know, your ADC bot side, and you have loads of damage coming through from the rest of the map as well. Like, that was a really entertaining game. And to be honest, both teams deserve to win it. I thought they both did some really good plays. But at the end of the day, you know, big credit to NORD for staying strong and seeing that one through. It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy.
Yeah. I think just a massive credit to Joker. Me and you were pretty critical of the Nidalee pick, and he
we were skeptical, and I think we should have been. We were fair to be skeptical.
Yes,
he did well. He
did absolutely fantastic. That steal on the Baron honestly changed the entire tide of the game. I just think the whole team played really, really well, and it was definitely the most fun game we've had today, because I think Verdant were also playing their absolute hearts out in that game. That was so tight between both teams. It was just an absolutely edgy seat game. Had so much fun watching that one. I think we should probably throw ourselves to a break, and then when we're back after that, we'll have DMG versus Blue White. But also, I guess the desk going to talk a little bit about that game. We'll see you in a moment.
At SteelSeries, we make the headsets, mice and keyboards that the world's best gamers win the most with. And we've been doing it since way back. It's up to you how far you go, but whatever you do, go for glory.